Hey everyone, welcome to my reading, welcome to my channel. I don't even know what the fuck that was. Oh my gosh, everything is so itchy, bro. Okay, so first things first, what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna like let you guys know. I found I'm not neurodivergent, I'm neuroconvergent, and we'll just leave it at that. If you know, you know. My afro. Let's go. Holy shit, I'm so fucking itchy, bro. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what it is, but I am so fucking itchy. Maybe it's the bed. I don't know. I really don't have bed bugs, okay? Maybe it's the gnats. No, it's not the bed for sure. But it's like, I don't know, maybe it is the gnats. Maybe it's the gnats. Even my face is fucking itchy. Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh. It's like an allergic reaction. Anyways, I'm gonna read the energy. Okay. So let's get into it. So this is going to be a really important reading for the next chapter. I'm going to have to write this down. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Okay, I already wrote it down. Oh no, that's what I do right there. That's what it is. You know what? I just figured it out. Like as I was like writing it, I just figured it out. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be um um oh actually here. Oh my gosh. I think I actually did figure it out. I don't want to use this word. It's a different word. We're going to use the word gosh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So basically in togetherness at the same time, ensemble is the word. So we're going through with ensemble. We're going to be basically learning form and execution. This has to do with basically the revolutionary change that we're doing right now. So yeah, that Queen of Swords in reverse energy is fallen finally. I said Queen of Swords. Princess of Swords energy is fallen finally. So Princess of Cups is here. The upright one that I don't know what was going on. It's like, well, instead of tapping into Princess of Cups energy, we're gonna like leave the Princess of Cups to the side because it has to do with intuition. Okay, so it's about faith, intuition, integrity, all of that jazz, right? So we're just gonna leave it there because it's time for that energy to finally rest. So on the other hand, you have this, you have a false instinct, right? So this is the energy that is the energy that I had been like battling for a while now. It's like specifically when it comes to like, okay, so Princess of Swords in reverse is kind of like neurodivergence, right? So it's like where it's the like negative polarity of um the autism spectrum. So you have the autism spectrum, right? So you have the part of the autism spectrum is like the genius of it all. You don't realize you're autistic until it's too late, or you've been recognized as a genius and then find out that you're autistic, right? You're like, oh, wait, this autism. You know what I mean? So like all that jazz, shamanic energy, and then all the way from that all the way to retardation, right? So retardation is under the negative spectrum of it, but it's more so like, actually no, retardation would be actually mid form. It would be like closer to center, like closer to normal, because the human body deteriorates. So you got like Down syndrome, retardation, right? They're all closer to like the middle, which would be like equilibrium of normalcy, right? So this is like when the body deteriorates due to the neurological, basically due to autism, right? So you have those that survive autism, thrive away from it, you know what I mean? And then those who get incapacitated by it and or modified by some way. So it's some sort of genetic component that occurs, right? And then the brain kind of like functions, because it's like when you're in the womb, right? You haven't formed your brain yet. There's an external factor to how you're formed, right? It's like the dependency of your forming is dependent on the mother and the father. It's not just the mother. It's not only the mother. It's the father and the mother, both the sperm and the egg, right? So the both genetic components forming the vessel, forming the brain, forming the vessel, basically the vessel is like what is at play there, right? So then you have, what you call it, how then only then the brain is formed afterwards, when everything is done already, and then that's where like the neurological functions of it works, right? So we're looking here at the form of the whole situation, the ensemble, right, of the body, and we're looking about like how it came to be, the body vessel in a situation, you know. So other than that though, because we're not focused on that specifically. I know that I just mentioned that, but we're not focused on that specifically. We're focused on, oh my gosh, it wants to twist and turn everything, but that's what I'm trying to tell you guys right now. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys right now, okay? This is exactly the problem, okay? So as someone who's in the autism spectrum, I'm in the autism spectrum. I am neuroconvergent. I am more of the I learn things really quickly. I get really where I want to go really fast. In the zodiac, right? I could have been first, but you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So now we're gonna have to focus, right? Oh my gosh, this is so complicated. That is literally, when I say enemy, that is the enemy. That energy is such an enemy. Okay, it is such an enemy. It's so annoying. It's the neurodivergent energy, but it's like the negative incapacity. So there's people who are neurodivergent, and there's two ways about it, right? By the way, I figured out the method, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So in my last reading, I mentioned either it was that or die. So I basically figured it out. So now I gotta master it, right? Or it's the best of my ability. So basically, yeah, like, oh, I fucking caught that bitch. Okay, I just caught it. Oh, it was so annoying, bro. It literally is like a fly, like a gnat, like a fucking mosquito, bro. It's so fucking, it made me itch. 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 It's so annoying, bro. It's still making me itch. Like, it's so annoying. It's like chaos. But to me, like my understanding of chaos is like a snake, but like that is not really that. It's like chaos, like so annoying. Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. The important part about this is oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh. I can't help it. Okay, I'm a very disciplined person, okay? But this thing is like, it's progressively worse. It gets progressively worse. And I'm not going to be explaining what it's doing, because I've learned my lesson when it comes to that. Okay, so we're just gonna tap in here, and we're gonna find out what it is. Okay, because this is insanity. So neurodivergent folks, right, can come across it's like, yes, psychotism, exactly. Psychotism is a part of that spectrum. Psychotism is a part of the autism spectrum. And why am I saying that? Is because the neurological dysfunction, right, like focuses on specific, like that's how like murder and all of it. So this is where everybody goes, I think we're all a little autistic. Yes, the answer is indeed yes. So everyone is genuinely a part of that autism spectrum. Why? Because it's a spectrum of empathetic connectivity as well as humanity. So when you're talking about human beings, that's what it is. Okay? It's like, yeah. So, yeah. So ghostwriter persona in reverse, it can't ghostwrite anymore. It can't basically speak through others' voices to push their own agenda, right? There's now a limitation on like what it is that they think that they're about to do and how they're gonna do it, right? So it's like it's being cut off, like at a specific side of the spectrum. There's like it goes from like to give sympathy to, and then cut off. You know what I'm talking about? Like there's a cutoff section, right? Because it's like some things are dangerous, even if like okay, so and someone is autistic, that doesn't like give them the right to murder. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say here. So it's like they can't ghostwrite anymore, which is why it's like all this like itchiness that I'm getting. Yeah, bait fisher persona drops tempting opportunities to conceal traps. You see what I'm saying? I know itchiness is like a huge sign of bait fishing, right? Because it's like you're not supposed, when a mosquito bites you, you're not supposed to itch it, right? You're not supposed to itch it because then it transfers. You get what I'm saying? Because the wound transfers, the bacteria that's in the wound starts to transfer. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You're not supposed to itch it because it's gonna grow or something like that, right? Although it seems like it's giving you like some sort of, you know what I mean? But yeah, so that's one. So drops tempting opportunities that conceal traps. So basically it's like it seems like an opportunity, right? It seems like an opportunity for some sort of relief or something like that, but that's not what it's for, right? Something like that. Oh, it's getting deeper. Okay, so anchor thief persona, all right? Oh, by the way, hi, my name is Mimi or Amina. My name is Amina, but I go by Mimi, okay? So removes a person's stability to make them easier to sway. So that's what it is, okay? So the trap in the situation, I went in reverse. So the trap in the situation is to cause swaying, right? Oh my gosh. The trap in the situation is to cause swaying. Removing the person's stability is where they thought that they had the power at, right? And they thought they had the power to now drop those tempting opportunities. You see what I'm saying? But then in reality, it was to like manifest them or to cause them to exist or to, yes, incur. Thank you, Jesus. That's basically it. So basically, it's to incur sin, and that's what it is. They knew that they were incurring sin, and that was a thing that they were doing, and they were bait layer persona leaves tempting opportunities inside the trap. What the hell? What the fuck? Y'all, this is crazy. They really couldn't conceal it anymore. And then they couldn't they couldn't make it seem like an opportunity through concealing it. And so in order to like anchor thief, so they've been, it's like, yo, I don't know how else to explain to you an anchor thief persona, but let me just like bring some clarity to you. You know, a ship anchor, it like is like, yeah, because like fuck all the metaphorical whatever. No, think of a ship anchor, right? Imagine like a random boat. Like it would take a lot, right? It would take a lot. You have to get a boat that's like that would weigh more than the anchor, right? More than the anchor. Not only will you try to get a boat that weighs more than the anchor, but you have to get one that actually keeps the anchor afloat. Then you have to, then the person has to, or the individual has to now go on the boat, get to the ship while nobody is seeing, nobody's looking. In front, everybody, like, there's hella fucking guards and cameras and everything is going on. I mean, you even got coast guards around the ship that has the anchor, the main anchor, that, you know what I mean? And so like you got so much going on. So then there's and then they had to get past all of that. It's hard, right? And then they have to take the anchor, somehow get it off the ship while no one notices. So no one has to notice. So the weight of the ship like would dramatically change, which would have been noticed, right? So it's like so much you would have to do as for them to like for them to like not, but there's so much that they would have to do so that they would steal the anchor from the boat. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's say it's a small boat. You could maybe imagine it, right? Fuck your imagination, nigga. I got aphantasia. Think of the logistics of the matter, okay? Think of the logistics of the matter, all right? I really want you to think, okay? Stop imagining and start thinking, okay? And so imagine in your creative time, okay? This is the time to think very clearly and logically about a situation and scenario, okay? So they're the ones that are trying to think creatively, okay? So so because they're trying to figure out how they can do it. So they want to now take the anchor off the ship, put it onto their boat, and then get away to where? To the shore? To throw it off the boat. So that's how they've been. You see what I mean? So the only logical thing that they think that they could do at the scenario situation, other than like taking a weight on the boat, is to get in there somehow secretly and actually break off like the anchor off of the ship and drop it. So to cut the anchor, you see, at its chain. There you go. There you go. So that's the only way, that they think that they're gonna, steal it, right? Yeah. And because the whole point is to remove a person's stability to what you call it, make them easier to sway. So in this way, it would be something about what you call it, attempting to cut off what one is dependent on, right? So what one is dependent on, what one person is basically dependent on. I'm not a very dependent person. I'm a dependable person, but I'm not like a dependent person, right? I'm an adult. I'm also an earth angel, so like according to universal law, I'm like an adult. I'm like, but I'm always a child of God, right? I'm always a child of God, but I'm an adult to everybody else except God. To God, I'm a child, right? So even Jesus recognizes me as an adult kind of energy. So that's another thing, because you couldn't, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So basically, bait layer persona leaves tempting opportunities designed to trap. I don't know why that happened. Oh. Oh. I'm starting to see. Okay. So leaves tempting opportunities designed to trap. Wow. I'm going to get pissed now. So idolater, merit loss. There they are. And then you have unmerciful, demonic. There they are. I couldn't make this up. We got a lot going on in here. Okay. Or we got a lot going on out there. Okay. So trying to replace true source. Okay. Allegiance to false sources, self-obsessed, and blocks others' lifestyles to transfer interest and attempts to dilute importance of sensitivity and trust. So it's truly unmerciful, and I'm unmerciful idolater. Okay. Oh my gosh. So Zechariah 7:9 through 10, Romans 1:31, Surah 90, 14 through 17, Bhagavad Gita 16:2, 10 evil acts, 3 of mind. It's both 3 of mind here. So Exodus 23 through 5, Deuteronomy 5:7 through 9, Isaiah 44:9 through 20, Jeremiah 10:3 through 5, Psalm 11:4-5, Corinthians 1:14, 1 John 5:21, Romans 1:23-25, Surah 4:36, 6 151, 31:13, Manusmrtis 12:95, 10 evil acts, 3 of mind. So The whole scenario is to a brain itch. Now I'm getting it. Is something about a neurological itch. Okay. So special interests. I asked that recently. I was like, what's your special interest? Like, ironically. So like stuff like that, right? So neuroconvergence, when it comes to, we are more, it's more like, yeah, you see the complication because there has to be more study done on a situation that wasn't being done on neuroconvergence, because it was always easier to like take upon, it's like researching why a serial killer would serial kill, but without the basis of humanity and understanding of humanitarian understandings, right? So it's like, looking past the human nature, the intrinsic nature of humanity, in order to, yeah, to overcome a trap which one has fallen into. Okay, and that's the Princess of Swords in reverse. You see what I'm saying now? Overlooking the intrinsic nature of humanity to seem as if that way was the way out. Okay, yeah. So basically, oh my gosh, yeah, it's still coming out. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's keep reading because that's the only way I can explain it. You have to understand that the energy is not human, is demonic. Okay, a demonic merit loss. Okay. So yeah, string cutter persona, there it is. You know what I'm talking about? Breaks connections between allies to weaken them. Oh my gosh, you see where it's itching for me? Oh my impossible. Yeah, they're trying to claim something is impossible. For one, a lot of people say, like, there's like a lot of people who think that, oh, the brain, you don't feel the brain, right? There's a thing about like not feeling the sensation of the brain existing within your head. I don't know that is real. That always kind of got me kind of fucked up and lost. Because as a kid growing up, I always knew I could feel my brain. And people were like, no, that's your nervous system. I'm like, you mean the thing that's floating around in my skull that's being cushioned? Like in that. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, no, I can feel it. I can feel everything. Like, what are you talking about? And so it really like fascinated me how like people would like straight up like lie to my face. You know what I mean? And then they wouldn't even understand that they're lying. They wouldn't even know. And I'm like, are you that much? Like, is it that bad? Like, like, okay, like it's a law. So like they want to act like some things aren't existent on the external to act as if that it's coming from the internal. So for example, I got aphantasia. So whenever someone like illogically calls me paranoid, I'm like, about what? You know what I mean? And so they can't really give me a real reason about why they might believe that I might be paranoid. Because every time they always try to bring up my imagination, and I'm saying, well, I'm actually I'm an aphantasiac. Like I have aphantasia. So, let's look up aphantasia so that you can understand really quickly. Okay. Oh. So fantasia, imagination, appearance, without imagination, without images in the mind. I am blind in my mind. You see what I'm saying? Does the mind not exist? No, it still does. Mindfulness still exists. Does the imagination not exist in that situation? No, it still exists because it says without the mind. You see what I'm saying? Sorry, not without the mind. Sorry, without imagination, right? It says without imagination. So meaning that I can think without my imagination. You see what I'm saying? I can literally physiologically like picture things without imagining it. Like I can picture things. I can put things into perspective. Quite literally, without images in my mind. So I can't make up anything. I can't lie. Like I genuinely cannot lie, especially not to myself. Like if there is something that is unbelievable appearing before me, I will research it. Like I will understand it. I will understand whatever it is that God has laid before me. Like goodness. Very unmerciful energy. Very unmerciful because it's a very there it is BTList. Very unmerciful energy. Very, very unmerciful energy. I don't know how to explain it to you. Oh man. I don't know how to explain it to you. Y'all. I'm like, yo. Fuck. I don't know if it's like cigarette burns or some shit like that, bro. Sorry, just anyways, I feel it, right? I can't picture it. I can't, well, not picture it. I can't imagine it, right? Especially if it's happening to my body. Like, I can't, oh, shit, bro. I can't imagine it. And basically, I'm not imagining it. Yeah, like, I'm not, okay? Yeah, and that's why especially doesn't like me because it knows that I can't imagine it, right? At first it thought whatever. At first it was in the energy of assumptions, right? At first it was in the energy of assumptions that if things can happen to me that aren't happening to many others, that it wouldn't. Yeah, there it is. Oh, I just knew it. I just knew it. Okay. Oh, I just knew it. Okay. Bell ringer persona raises alarms to distract from one's own action. So raises alarms. That's an example of raising an alarm, causing the itchiness, causing displays of unrest, right? Stuff like that. It's a lot of alarms. A lot of alarms. All right. Abuses kinship, incestuous. There you go. Leviticus 18:6-17, 1 Corinthians 5:1, Surah 4:23, right? 10 evil acts, third body evil. So that's where it is. Third body evil. So this is something of like now it's like that's where it's at, right? So you can see how it was quickly dismissed, right? Because they kept on doing it. Like I can't help if, you know what I mean, if it keeps fucking with me, right? At that point I'll be like, all right, fuck it, I'm out, right? I'm me and everybody else, so 144 out, like we'll be out, right? And then that's like, do you know how much havoc that could cause? Like, and at the end of the day, like I asked this question out loud recently and I said, do these people really not understand why they haven't been nuked yet? Like they don't really understand. I'm telling you about humanity. I'm telling you about empathy. I'm telling you about how important it is for us to really stand with each other and love each other. You see that shit? I'm telling you how important. I'm telling you how important it is that we truly understand each other, right? And find peace and balance and equilibrium, right? And motherfuckers want to fight. All right. So why is it that you think you're still alive then? Why is it that you think you're still alive? Motherfuckers will lying to themselves, and they'll imagining things, lying to themselves and imagining things. Meanwhile, I'm on the outside of it. Like I can't even. That's why they want to act like I'm hating from outside of the club when I can't even get in type stuff, right? I'm like, but I am the club. What are you talking about? Like, or should I say Jesus is? Right? So, mask seller persona helps others hide truth in exchange for loyalty. Yeah. So their whole thing is like, it's so crazy, bro. Oh my God. Neurodivergency in that manner is very sociopathic, right? So mask seller. So they literally they undermine their own capacity to evolve. Okay? They undermine their own capacity to evolve. But that is the secondary. You see, that's secondary to what they're actually doing, right? They're actually doing something in the third body. You see what I'm saying? So the only way to understand it is if now I was to reveal the third body of what they're doing, right? Or how it's affecting what they're getting, what they're affected by. But the answer isn't there either. But it is exposed by that being exposed. You see what I'm saying? The third body evil being exposed allows for the understanding of the secondary effect of the situation to themselves, right? But the first in the situation isn't being revealed. You see what I'm saying? So it is sort of like this is something that I'm telling you, I've been oh my gosh, it's been such a struggle. I can't explain to you how much of a struggle it really is. It's like necromancy, right? It's trying to explain to someone who claims they're a full-fledged necromancer that that isn't real and that they're playing with shit and piss and scum. Right? They're not that trying to explain to someone. It's like in Ghost in the Shell, right? In Ghost in the Shell, there's a moment where I keep mentioning it. This guy like gets brought back to reality, right? Where they're like, "Do you even know who you are? Do you even remember who your people are? Look at this picture." Da-da-da. And they just freeze and their brain goes blank and everything like about them, like because they're in disbelief. Like that's the thing about them. It's like the disbelief is like I think that's the primary. Yeah, that's the primary thing is the disbelief, right? They're in deep, deep disbelief, and it's like fucking comes from nowhere, bro. Just they're in deep disbelief, and that disbelief, like, yeah, it's unbelieving. It's disbelief. Isn't that the answer? It's disbelief. So that's it. They cover up. They try to cover up their disbelief and play some sort of fantasy. Yeah, and they play some sort of fantasy. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Lash persona. Powerful people tries to attach powerful people to rise with them in the transitioning market. Oh my gosh. So the pressure for adapting to structural or regulatory shifts. They're in disbelief about structural and regulatory shifts, right? The pressure, the feature is featuring pressured adaptation. You see what I'm saying? So it's like they're in disbelief as to why they should adapt. There it is. Why they should adapt, why it's beneficial for them, how it's beneficial for them, where it's coming from, what it's for, all that jazz. They're in disbelief of the general consensus of adaptation. They're in general disbelief about the general consensus of adaptation, right? Not only that, but they are like there's this extreme resentment, hate at a strong footing, like having a strong footing, right? So it's like a begrudging almost. It's like anyone can have a strong footing, right, in a situation, and they can grow with that, right? and they don't have to be a bad person, right? It just so happens to be that not everyone who is a good person has a strong footing. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody who's a good person has a strong footing. And so, because not everybody that's a good person has a strong footing and maybe is meant to learn it, they wanted to attach in that scenario. And see what I'm saying? So slander in reverse, a whole bunch of stuff here. But what we're taking whatever is up here. So reveler, they can't be a reveler. Ooh, I already said this. So veil persona, there it is. All this stuff. So veil persona keeps personal motives obscured behind constant distraction. You see what I'm saying? So the distraction is away from the merit of the strong footing, right? The allyship that allows for you see anchor thief persona, allyship, they literally the allyship that allows for a strong footing. They are in disbelief of that existing, that there could be allyship that could bring strong footing, strongholds, thresholds. Like they're in disbelief about it. So it's not even about angelic power or friendships or anything like that. No, it's like symphony. I'm hearing epitaph. Oh my gosh. Is that what I'm writing? An epitaph? Oh my gosh. Hold on one second. Yo. An inscription on a tomb, funeral oration written upon a tomb. Oh my God. It refers to a funeral speech, but soon narrowed to mean the inscription carved on a gravestone. Holy crap. Yo, I couldn't make this up. An inscription on a tomb. Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God, man. Okay. Yeah, so speculative market in reverse. Okay. So, yeah. Signal lantern persona. That's another one, right? Sends covert messages only insiders understand. So then the yawning, the scratches, see, now all of that stuff is going back to center, is returning, because it's like what is it called? Superstition. So it's forcing individuals to not only falsify their own superstitious belief system, which would or intrinsic systems of understanding, right? Not only attempting to falsify or force others to falsify intrinsic understandings of themselves, but also attempting to replace it with not only superstitious behaviors or superstition, but with specifically superstition. Yeah. Or specific superstition. There you go. Bribe taker. Okay. Covertly lying for profit, lustful bindings to lies. You see what I'm saying? So Exodus 23:8, Acts 24:26, Surah 2:188, Manusmriti 9:231, 10 evil acts, 3 of body. There they are again. And now we can finally close the cycle out with their fucking bullshitting ass, right? Puppet master persona, directly holding others accountable for one's own actions without ever being seen or held responsible. Seen, and what it is that they didn't want to be seen is being held responsible. So holding account. You see what I'm saying now? They wanted power over holding account. Right. Blasphemer. Now you understand what a blasphemer is? Okay. Projects their own sin at God. Very unlucky, right? They have no dharma and plagiarizes to thief humility. So they plagiarize account, right? They plagiarize an account and then they assume authority over that said account. but only the mask of it, because they can't actually assume authority over the actual account. But they lie to others and lie to people in order to now make seem as if that the account had ever been in their possession, and possession by which there would have been a necessary power. You see what I'm saying? So Leviticus 24:16, Matthew 12:31, Surah 6:108, Manusmriti 2:11, 10 evil acts for speech, and there they go again. Do you see what I'm saying? So silent partner persona influences outcomes without visible involvement. They're already caught doing that. Okay. So then there they go. They can't be a chess master anymore, and they've been kicked out of the oligopolistic market, right? So the challenge that they failed to understand that brought them to disbelief was the pressure for cooperation. I kid you not, and balance amongst a few dominant players. They assumed being dominant in a situation would also mean that they didn't have to cooperate. But the situation and scenario required cooperation, right? Which in which that they wouldn't allow themselves be. So it was pride. You see the pride in the situation. So the pride in the situation thought that they had the power to drop someone else's security, someone from security into ruin. Trapdoor keeper persona, right? And then, yeah, like I said. So they were attempting to utilize all those unnecessary and very, very unnecessarities, okay? Because people would be like, oh, it's a necessary evil type of situation. But no, when something is necessary, it's not seen as evil, okay? Even sinful could it could be seen sometimes maybe as sinful, but it's not sinful, but it's not evil for sure, right? So that's what I'm saying in the situation. It's like there's some things, like for example, some people are just meant to be killed, okay? Like, and it's not a necessary evil. It's just how it is, right? So in a situation, right, where it's like you don't know, because it's like, that's what I'm trying to say. Thou shalt not kill. Absolutely. Thou shalt not kill. But yeah, but in this, yeah, there's no but in this situation. Thou shalt not kill. It's a law. It's divine law. However, it's more of a promise. You see, that's what I'm trying to say. It's more of a promise. God promises that you wouldn't have to have your hands dirty, and promises that you would, oh, that another wouldn't have to get, you know what I mean? But at the same time, God doesn't give that promise to everyone. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's literally what I'm trying to tell y'all. God may promise, but God may also selectively promise. That's what I'm trying to say. And they're in disbelief about it. And that's what I'm trying to say. God can be selective, and they're trying to act like it's some sort of favoritism, and that's where they're assuming that there's pride in a situation, when in reality it's much more than that, and they can't accept it. So pressure for meeting scarcity. You see what I'm saying? So the featuring here would be the pressured meeting. You see, pressured meeting, which would be kind of like it's like saying, what'd you call it? Oh, you know something? I forgot about this. It's like saying it's like what's his face? Oh my goodness. A blind date. Yeah, it's like a blind date. Pressured meeting. You see? And that's something that happens especially in like aphantasic folk. A lot of people with aphantasia would be extremely pressured would feel extreme, would feel the pressure. Oh my gosh. A lot of people with that temptation, I feel like it's not just myself, not only myself, right, would feel pressured meeting with anyone. Like, I can't imagine who I'm going to meet next. I can't imagine what's going to happen next. I can't imagine what's going to happen now, what's going to happen tomorrow. I can't imagine anything. Like, it's not going to work for me, right? So even if I had been checking my accounts, doing everything right, da, 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 and it's like people are like, well, you just can't expect, what's going to happen at any moment, but they're not living it. They're not living that. They say that, they might even build their lifestyle around it, but they're not living in it. They're not actually experiencing what that is like. You know what I mean? And so for me, I feel pressured meaning every time. You see what I'm saying? Like, no matter what I look at, what I turn to, I don't know what I'm going to see. I don't know what I'm going to look at. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is what is. That's it. That's it. That's all I know is what is. And I barely even think I know that for real. You know what I'm saying? So the situation causes like them to feel, you know what I mean? You see, I mean, look at this. Undersupplied market. No, the nobility in situation, or what works in a situation is readiness, right? What doesn't, what I said, what doesn't? Oh my gosh, bro. But now the energy is really coming out. The energy is starting to really come out. That devil is starting to expose itself heavy. It's starting to expose itself heavy. Like, you don't even understand. Like, it's bad. Like, it's bad, y'all. Like, because it's like, anyways, the whole point of the undersupplied market, right? The whole point is to bring reliability to the forefront, right? In order to balance, right? Or sorry, in order to meet urgent needs. So real urgent needs, okay? So they weren't able to overcome the oligopolistic right? They couldn't take on the pressure for cooperation, for balance amongst few dominant players. They couldn't be a dominant player. They couldn't bring balance to a few dominant players, and they couldn't cooperate with a few dominant players. They also couldn't cooperate with themselves or another, right? So that failed. So they couldn't enter the undersupplied market, whether it be from whatever standpoint it was. But either way, they failed. And now the final aspects of them, there they are. Oppressor, there they are. Finally, oh my goodness. Oppressor, insatiable. And that's why it seems like, oh my gosh, that's why it seems like there's some sort of personal motive in a situation or a matter. No, they're just insatiable. I have to lay down, y'all. I have to lay down because I'm getting tired. So, what'd you call it? They're just insatiable. They're only insatiable. Projects own weakness at Omega, lies about being Alpha. Exodus 22:21 through 24. James 2:6. Sutta 4:75. Bhagavad Gita 16:9. 10 evil acts, 3 of mind and body. And there they are. See, 3 of mind and body. So now you guys know that there's a devil. That's the devil energy, right? So now that devil energy is in the Princess of Swords in reverse. So it's very like neurodivergent on the more darker triad scale, right? This is something that, yeah, there they are. That's why they're under judgment. They're heavy under judgment. Yeah, because they were, oh my gosh, they were falsifying providence, okay? They were falsifying some sort of providence. Yeah, they were falsifying some sort of providence. Yeah, exactly. Neuromancy. It's like they wanted to they wanted to, like, I don't know, put live souls and live spirits inside dead bodies. That's more like what necromancy is. It's not like you're resurrecting them, but they were really trying to act like they were resurrecting them, but in reality, they were trying to put dead things, sorry, live things in death. Yeah. But oh my gosh, and it's such a corrupt thing to do, because it's like it suggests so much worse than it would seem. Yeah. There's a Two of Cups energy. So they were attempting, so Knight of Swords with the Four of Cups, they were attempting, yeah. The Knight of Cups, okay. Ooh. So the Nine of Cups with the Two of Cups would be like the pain energy, right? Because there's like maybe it's in reverse or something. But basically, I researched that a long time ago. But the Four of Cups energy with the Knight of Cups, you can tell that they made a mistake. And so the mistake that they made, which isn't a real mistake, but it's more like they a truth was triggered in a place of a lie. So like a truth was triggered in a space of a lie. Yeah. So that had caused, yeah, let's just say, the truth to be revealed. Yeah, the Fool in reverse. I can't make it up. I cannot make it up. Yeah, they think that they're such a trickster. Yep. They think they're such a trickster. They thought that they could pretend to be in the energy of the Emperor energy, in the Lord's energy, stuff like that. Right. There's the Eight of Cups. You see? But they were left with the Eight of Cups. Right. The Eight of Cups are like all the like the past. Yeah. They were left behind in the past. Oh, y'all. It won't stop, bro. My God. Oh my God, bro. Are those the trumpets? Holy crap. Okay, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Yeah, the ancestors are like, come on, right? So basically, yeah, the Nine of Pentacles, Three of Cups. Three of Pentacles, Three of Wands, right? So they wanted to cause misdirection. That's what it is, right? So now they've been caught attempting to cause misdirection. Yes, to steer allyship away from whatever it is that the allyship was for. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, it doesn't matter who's the ally, what the ally is for, or whatever's going on. They are oppressive, insatiably oppressive. You see what I'm saying? They're insatiably oppressive. They lose so much merit all the time. They're like a fucking devoid of any kind of like merit making or goodness or humanity. They're so unmerciful. They're unmerciful, insatiable, and yet they feel, quote unquote, the pressure for meeting scarcity. No, that's us in the energy. They can no longer feel. So it's like when someone keeps causing fights with you because they want to know if you still love them or something, some bullshit like that. And if you like stop fighting with them, they know that you don't love them. That shit does not work for me. Okay, I don't want to fight in general. In general, I'm not a fight. I'm not the type of fight person to fight. I could decide to break up with you even if I didn't think about it. I could be like, you know what, I'm done. Like that would be it. They don't want they're in disbelief, bro. I'm trying to tell you. They don't understand that there's different kinds of people out here. There's different kind of individuals out here. Not everybody they can oppress. Not everybody they can oppress, okay? They can certainly not oppress. They can't certainly not oppress me. Not everybody is meant to be their slave, all right? Not everybody is meant to they can't understand that. I don't know what kind of fucking crazy ass shit. And they're evil too. I don't know what it is that they're like, yeah, look at that evil ass shit, bro. I don't know what it is, but they must think they rule the world. They must think they're Satan. That's the type of motherfucker that thinks they're Satan. I shit you not. They really sit there and they think they're Satan. That's why I be having to try and tell you guys. Then I told you guys Satan is dead, right? Them the motherfuckers that keep on thinking that they're gonna bring they're gonna puppeteer what they think is gonna be believable as Satan's body type shit. And I put somebody that's alive in there, or some spirit that's alive in there. Yeah, now I'm in alignment. Yeah, so to make it seem as if it's so scary. Fuck that shit, bruh. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that's research. That came by research. 9 Pentacles is here now. Yeah, you see how it was shared? Yeah, now there's the tower. It's over. Because now the research is true. Yeah, now that people are seeing that this is true. That I'm the truth. There's the motherfucking devil that I told you guys was coming. And there's the 9 of Cups. Like, honestly. So, yeah, there's the ship. Yeah, there's the ship. And that's the distraction. Remember I told you? Mask seller persona energy? I told you they another thing that they could try to do, right, is try and replicate. This is where they were creatively thinking at. Now we can think about it, right? Now we can bring up the Princess of Cups energy and what the Princess of Cups knows and what the knowing is about, right? Now we can bring up what's the knowing and not the knowledge, the knowing, right? And that's the fact that what they would actually be trying to do in the situation when it comes to steering allyship, right, and removing the anchors out of allyship, is attempting to replicate the same image of the allyship without actually having any of the substance of the allyship in order to steer the principles of the allyship towards them instead of the allies. Ding, 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 ding. Now we're thinking. And so now the direction of the understanding of the truth is clear. Do you see what I'm saying? So now people can understand, like, how that whole pride situation really occurred. You see what I'm saying? So we'll put it this way, quite frank and short, right? It's more so that it seemed, right, that there had been real angelic power that had failed. But really what had occurred, for real, was that it was demons. It was demons. And I think that that's really what it is. Let me see real quickly. Give me a second. So the verses formed later doctrines that Lucifer, Satan, led a rebellion, persuaded other angels to follow him, and were casted out of heaven to earth. Basically, it was pieced together from prophecy, apocalyptic vision, and letters. So, how art thou fallen from heaven? Yo, that should creep me out low key a little bit. O Lucifer, son of the morning. And there was war in heaven. Michael, well, that was Isaiah 14:12. And then Revelations 12:7-9. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the great dragon was cast out. That old serpent, called the devil and Satan, he was cast out into the earth. Into the earth. And his angels were cast out with him. 2 Peter 2:4. For if God spared not his angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell. Jude 1:6. And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains. So, had not left their first estate, but left their own habitation. You see, so they fell from perfection, right? Habitat. They had been less than perfect. You see, that's the same thing. I just realized that. And angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation. Yeah. So their first estate, that was where they were at first. And that's what I'm trying to say, at first. Yeah. Yup. They're sweating now. So they basically mirrored. I don't know how to explain this. It was a lie. That's true. What God obviously says is Jesus obviously wrote, and all Peter, Isaiah, and everybody in Revelations, everybody wrote was obviously correct. Like Jude, all that stuff is obviously right and correct, obviously. But what I'm trying to say is that the way it happened was through the lie, through the oppressiveness of Lucifer, of Satan. That's why it's dead. It's dead. Puppeteering that energy and oh my gosh, attempting to bring life by forcing life into to all that jazz is not how it works. I don't know how to explain it. It's not how it fucking works. It's just not how it works. Okay, I don't know how to explain. I don't know how to explain it, bruh. I don't know, because I feel like I've explained it so like that's the problem right there. There is no explanation, is there? Yeah, there's no explanation. There's never been, only excuses. That's it. That's it. That's it. There's never been an explanation. It's always excuses. Excuses, excuses, excuses. And all those things are false excuses. They're not real excuses. But when there's real excuses, for some reason, that's being unidentified. because people don't know what to tell as a real excuse. It's not a real excuse. Yeah, there it is. There's the principality as energy, the oppressing as energy, because it's like a copycat. You see what I'm saying? It's like a copycat. It's like a wannabe Satan motherfucker. And they wanna be Satan, and they wanna recreate what happened to Satan. And happened to everyone. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. That happened to Satan. You know what I'm talking about now? You see what I'm saying? They want to recreate what Satan did, what Lucifer did to everybody else. And then they want to act as if that they ever had the power to establish what had happened to Satan. When in fact, there's a whole other paradigm. In Isaiah 14, Lucifer originally refers to the fallen Babylonian king, later applied to Satan. And then, are you ready for this one? Sophia wisdom in Gnosticism is a divine aeon emanation from God. She falls through an error or yearning, creating the material world or the demiurge, depending on the system. Demiurge. There it is. Demiurge. That's the word right there that I was looking for. Okay. Both Lucifer and Sophia are figures of fallenness. The light that fell from heaven, Lucifer, the wisdom that descended into matter, cosmic mistake, but also redeemer. You see, both embody exile from fullness. Okay? So, demiurge is what it is. Okay? Because I couldn't fucking explain it, right? Why couldn't I explain a fucking demiurge, right? There's a word for it. Ain't no motherfucking way. Demerge. So, demerge. There's okay, so demurge, right? Apparently is a completely different word. I didn't even think that that was the word that I was thinking of, but now I'm glad that I know it because there's something about, remember, like a, that word, was it demonized or something? What the hell? Like, I I can't make this up at all, but I know for a fact that there's a word that sounds like demurge, but it means something completely different. So it might be demerge. Fucking Abaddon. I could not make this shit up, bro. I couldn't make it up. I couldn't. I feel like I don't know. I don't know, okay? I don't know, okay? I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know. It's doing too much. Let me do this. Okay, we got diverge. I couldn't make that up. Diverge, like divergent, right? Dirge? What is this? Is that it? That might be it. Homophones, abuse of homophones. By the way, they've been abusing homophones. Finally, bro. Finally. That's the word. A homophone. Like, it was so bad. It was so bad. It was real bad. It fucked me up. Yes, Demirage. There we go. So we got Demirage, a charge. I cannot make it up. Okay, so we got delay, to linger, delay, or stay, to tarry, delay. Okay, in shipping or commerce, Demirage, a charge for the detention of a ship, freight car, or container beyond the allowed time. And by extension, it's about penalty for delay. That's how they've been obstructing, okay, the cost for lingering too long. Okay, so we got that one out the way, right? It's a lot of words. It's a lot of words that they've been fucking up, okay? So it's using a lot of fucking different homophones, okay? All to avoid the whole thing, okay? To avoid even getting near it, all right? It's complicated, okay? I can't give you all the answers, all right? Demarrage. Let's see that one too. Yeah, literally. Delay staying. Literally stay behind. Originally referred to the act of lingering or staying too long, later appearing in shipping and commerce charge to keep the vessel. Same thing. Okay, so that's there it is. There's a principality that you've been looking for, collective that we all have been looking for. All right, it was a real hard find, but that was what was causing it a lot. That was the oppressive. It really wanted to linger. Really wanted to linger, really wanted to stay around, really wanted to stay there, really wanted to do this, do that. But at least we discovered Dimurge, or yeah, Dimurge again. You see, now it sounds completely different, right? I can't make it up, bro. Dimurge. Yeah, exactly. And I know there's another word, okay? I know there's another one. I know there's another one that really explains what I'm saying here. Okay? And it's a really annoying one. It's like a anyway, we'll leave that to God for now until we figure it out. But dimurge, you see what I mean? Dimurge means what you call it? Creator, by the way. It means creator. That's why I was like, no fucking way. And I started looking up. Yeah, now it makes sense, right? Creator, skilled worker. And this is not about, I didn't disbelieve and then believe and then disbelieve. No, I always believed. But then seeing it really showed me the truth, right? Creator, skilled worker in philosophy, the creator of the world, Dimurge, one who works for the people, craftsman, people, the common folk, artisan, public worker, craftsman. And there Jesus go, being exalted. Thank you, Jesus. I love you, Jesus. Get it, Jesus. And yup, there you go. Alpha, the Omega, right? So they can't do this, they can't do that bullshit anymore. Those oppressive, insatiable bait fisher motherfuckers. They can't do what it is that they thought they could do before. Trying to cause demurrage. Yeah, trying to cause demurrage. To incur sin. Yup. Trying to cause demurrage to incur sin. So floats between groups gathering scraps of influence. Yeah, that's what they were trying to do. Advise leaders from the shadows, avoiding accountability. That's what they were trying to do. Okay. Shadow lantern lights paths that head exactly where they want others to go. They can't do that anymore. Okay. And they've been caught at that because can't they can't falsify that something is a fact anymore in order to move people towards their own personal narrative. Yeah, they've been thrown out the informal market, right? Because there's no trust in the situation, because they couldn't overcome being in pressured exchange. They couldn't be in pressured exchange. They couldn't be there, right? They just couldn't be there, right? Pressure for exchange where formal systems are absent. They felt like if they had to ever be pressured for some sort of exchange, they would lie in order to cause demurrage. You see what I'm saying? And then that way they would incur sin. And that's all the sin that they were trying to incur through assuming control over entry and exit points. Yep. And then what'd you call it? They got kicked out of the oligopolistic market, right? They're getting kicked out of the undersupplied market now. They can't be in the undersupply. They're banned. Kind of energy. Hand switcher persona pretends to offer one thing while delivering another. They can't do that shit anymore. They can't do that because they don't have any facts. So there's no deliverance within a situation. They're not delivered. They're fallen, right? They're a demon, first of all, right? That's what I'm trying to say. And so they couldn't believe it or something like that. It's like they got, Satan died, but they got the curse of Satan, where Satan couldn't believe that he was no longer an angel. You see what I'm saying? That's like the type of energy. That's kind of like where the neurodivergency is it stops at, like where it gets cut out from. So it's like, yeah. So it's like, because it incurs sin, it's like too much. You know what I mean? Is there's too much fear, and it's like we fear God only, and not because we'd be scared of whatever Lucifer did to himself. We see ourselves as unique with God. So whatever we fear is whatever God put within us to fear. You see what I'm saying? Not whatever Lucifer went through. You know what I mean? Went through. You see what I mean? There's no sympathy for that motherfucker. Okay? Strength keeper persona holds connections between people and pulls them to cause outcomes, and that's what I was trying to say. So they were doing all of that through slander, and now they're getting caught trying to be the mask collector so that they could face change. You see what I'm saying? They were trying to distract people utilizing slander. Accuses everyone of same self-guilt, projects self-hysteria at anyone. You see what I'm saying? I don't know what kind of sickness, illness, whatever nonsense really had, because I don't think anything happened. I think it was true rebellion. I think it was really rebellion. Like, it was like, it's not only, so the thing is that it's not only about the thought of rebelling. It's not only about like imagining the rebellion. It's about actually acting upon it, and then trying to cover it up, and then like trying to force other people to do it, and then like trying to act like you're not doing what you're doing, and then trying to like pull innocent people into it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of evil. It's a lot of evil. And yeah, there it is. Hellgate, covetous. Yeah, it's over. Yeah, fornicator in reverse. They can't like incur sin anymore. Yeah, they can't incur sin. Webkate persona maintains an interesting network of control where everyone's strand leads back to them. Yeah, exactly. There's a big backfire of that energy. A big backfire. I mean, it was always known that it was going to be a big backfire. That's why there was so much like fear in the situation. It's like, because the promise is that thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not lie. Like, the holy promise is what it is, right? And so, like I said, the only ones who should be in fear are those individuals who followed those falseness, that false principality. You see what I'm saying? That false principality. Yeah, exactly. There it is. Queen of Wands in reverse. There they are. Yep. Empress in reverse energy. Yep. And I had to flip it over because I was like, yeah, there it is. Emperor here, sharing with the angels. Period. So we're being delivered, and God is delivering us by way of the emperor, by way of the angels, by that, right? And they want us to be wary for no reason. Okay? That's the whole thing. They want us to be wary, worried, and scared for no reason. Exactly. And they're getting caught. Yeah, they're getting caught. The strength is leaving them now. Yeah. The strength is leaving them now. Yeah. There's no more anything for them. No more of anything for them. Where they had assumed that there was something to be sown, to be reaped, to be planted, all that. Yeah, alignment. Where they were in assumptions at, that's where they die at. Yep. Ooh. Yeah. So Archangel Michael is coming with the solutions. Thank you, Archangel Michael. Yeah. Nine of Swords in reverse. Wow. They really assumed that they were gonna like, oh my gosh, it's just so much. There's destiny in a situation. The eight of swords is like he's captured them, is what I'm saying. I'm seeing. It's like he's captured them. Yeah, he's captured them. And there's the intrinsic, I knew it. And there's the corruption that they were trying to cause on the intrinsic awareness of humanity and intrinsic. Oh, there it is. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Nine of Wands. Yep. You see? Period. Nine of Wands in reverse. They're caught. Yeah, they're caught. You saw the Two of Cups, and then the Nine of Cups came out. Again, that's what I'm trying to say. They're trying to elevate, like they're trying to transfer some sort of pain. So they're interested in some sort of pain. That's what's going on. They're interested in some sort of pain. They enjoy incurring sin for pain. So it's like a motherfucker who sold themselves to sold their soul. Yeah. For pain. They did it all for pain. The same way here. They did it all for pain. And that's where they were finding misery at. They wanted to be in pain or wanted to cause pain to others. Yeah, there it is. You see with that devil. I'm telling you, remember how it came up once and then twice? Yeah. It didn't see that coming either. Yep. It can't. Oh my goodness. It can't assert false dominance anymore with that false reflection. It can't do that. Yeah. Because it's not even a real reflection. It's a false one. It's a false reflection from attempting to replicate from a false replica. It's not even a real replica. It's a false replica. Yeah. Yep, there it is, the Five of Cups. There's the merit loss. I knew it. There's the merit loss. There's that demonic ass energy. That demonic ass energy. Yeah, look at it. That was trying to work for, yeah, look at it. Was trying to act like it was working on behalf of that angel energy. Yep. It's a lot. It's a lot. Uh-huh. It's a lot. They really thought. Yep. As soon as I figured out a couple things about myself, I knew it. So I found the delay a long time ago. I think it was around 2017, 2018, right? It was around 2017, 2018. And it just so happened to have been seen, like it literally almost fell into my lap. Like it's like the demon itself came to me. You know what I mean? Came straight to me. And I saw it. But not like in the physical reality or anything like that, right? But it was more so that I was warned about it. And then as soon as it was a long time ago. But the problem is that it wasn't here. Like like I said, I didn't seen it. It was something that existed beyond where I could see. And that's the thing. I can't see the mind, right? I can't see in the mind. My imagination, you know what I mean? I have a fantasia. So I'm quite literally blind in the mind. But Beyond that, I can see everything pretty much beyond that. Beyond that and underneath that, I can see pretty much anything. But there is that specific blindness. And I was always having some sort of fucking issue. It was always some sort of fucking issue. And I found it actually no, it was 2019. It was 2019 I found it. Or not that I found it, I discovered that it existed for real. And so that's like I was like trying to like maneuver the whole situation. And so now we're here and I'm face to face with it, right? Kind of energy. And it's like some sort of like I said, meeting scarcity energy. It's like the scarcity that they wanted to appeal towards others to meet. People were feeling a need to urgent need to meet that scarcity, when in reality that's not even how the market economy works. You could tell it's a lot of corruption, and they were trying to supply themselves with no interest for false reason, which is principality, so that they would drive interest. Yeah. It's false is it false analytics? It's like it's like analytics. Yeah, I think it's that. I think that's what it is. Yeah, there's a 2 of Pentacles and then there's a 3 of Cups. False glory. So it's like they wanted to circumvent real analysis for false analytics while attempting to covertly hide the true form of the analysis and the true form of the analytics, like of both the false analytics and the real analysis. So it was a lot that was going on. But like I said, we can't, which is what I was trying to say, we can't take it because it's third body. It's in the third. But the second is the only way to really, like, the subconscious. It's like unconscious. That's what I'm trying to say. We can't take it because it's unconscious. You see what I'm saying? So that's where neurodivergency comes in, where there's unconscious actions that simulate subconscious reactions, but all covered up consciously. That's the problem. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the problem. And there it is. You see what I'm saying? All together now. So basically, they were feeding off one witch. The witch's pain. I can't make it up. One witch's pain or something like that. And it's like real dark. Like I said, like I was mentioning this earlier, but I said, do you think these demons are really capable of keeping them alive? Hell no. But they surely don't want them to die, right? That's not what they're looking to do, right? Because then it would force them out and they wouldn't have anywhere to go. Influences outcomes without visible involvement there. And so the witch in itself is in denial, right? They're in denial. See, liar in reverse, they can no longer lie. Thief in reverse, they can no longer steal. False witness in reverse, they can't pretend to be a false witness. An animal abuser in reverse, they can no longer animal abuse. They can no longer pretend as if that animal abuse isn't happening, or stealing people's truth away about their own abuse when it comes to animals. Right. Yeah. Cage builder persona creates invisible oh my gosh, creates invisible prisons of fear, obligations, or debt. So that's another distraction. They were attempting to distract people with that. Oh my gosh, it's giving Maxwell energy. It's like doing things covertly in order to bring people together. They're obsessive, bro. Look, profaner. They do things in order to bring people together, quote unquote, oh my gosh, they're so obsessive. It's crazy. So you have open market, pressure for fair access. So the oh my gosh, y'all. Give me a second. She's fucking crazy. So, the featuring here is pressured fairness. Okay? They can't handle that shit. That actually makes a lot of sense. They can't handle an open market where people compete fairly with integrity and merit trust. They never were capable of that. Somehow, they thought they could hide that inside the market that they were thrown out of, where it was about trust. Sour. Oh my gosh, here it is. Stews in disgratification, in distraction. So they feel disgratified or ungratified or ingrate, basically, as they distract people. And because they're in that energy, right? They get like pissed and shit. So they start mocking innocence. You know what I'm fucking talking about? When they say shit like, how's your little company going? Or some shit like that. Oh, I heard you're, quote unquote, I'm not gonna quote it. Oh, I heard you're building that new business. That's cute. You know, being ambitious is a good thing, but there is such a thing as being too ambitious. Are you sure you can do that on your own? Wow, you're such a big girl, you're such a big boy. Then they just get fucking obsessed with it. Justifiably so. It's a really sick thing to do. And that causes them to be ensnared. Because then they look at themselves in the mirror and say shit like, they ran away. They ran away. Yeah. So basically, they can't handle their own reflection. Yeah. They're in disbelief about themselves. So they try to act as if other people's reflections are their own. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. I couldn't make it up. They literally try to act like they're like other people's reflections are their own. What the hell? When I tell you that they do that shit, I'm not making that shit up. Like, it's like someone, it's like, let's say, oh, I've seen a scene like this before. In a movie or something. It's a two-way mirror, right? And a girl is applying her lipstick or something. She's like fluffing her hair or doing her hair. She's a really pretty girl. And then you have like an old lady or some shit behind the mirror. It's a two-way mirror. And they're just like angry. They're like angry as shit. And the pretty girl's just like washing her face. And then the old lady or whatever starts doing the same thing, mocking her energy, like doing it. And then it's some crazy ass shit, bro. And like they don't actually see themselves, right? They only see the other person. Like let's say if it's really crazy, it's like a scene from what'd you call it? Hold on one second. It's like a scene from like if let's say like in police rooms like they have two-way mirrors, right? And the police will be like looking at like an interrogation room, right? Yeah, that's what it is. But let's say it's like me in an interrogation room, right? I'm in the interrogation room and I'm just putting on my lip gloss and I'm just like fixing up my hair and I'm like, maybe I'm gonna touch up on my mascara or put on some powder or whatever the hell it is that I choose to do at that moment. I don't know. I might as well just stare at the wall and be like, I can see you. You never know. You never know what I'm gonna do at that moment. You never know. Hey, I might do a backflip. You never know. So, so, so I decide like, you know what I mean. So basically, it can, and the other person at the other side, right, starts looking like trying to align themselves, and that's what they call alignment. You see what I'm talking about now? And they try to align themselves. Well, that's not what I mean by alignment at all. But they try to align themselves to like fit. Like they'll bend down, they'll scoot, they'll try and like puff their chest out. Move their shoulder blades. Try and fluff up their hair too. You know what I mean? If they have different hair, they'll just piss them off. You know what I mean? It'll just piss them off, right? So they'll try to copy facial expressions and they'll do shit. It's some crazy shit like that. I kid you not. And it's like they like would, and this is what I was trying to explain. Like if I couldn't tell you guys the first of it, I'm just gonna tell you directly what it is, what they're doing, right? And so I think that's what it is. It parallels, right? If this what I'm saying is what parallels what they're actually doing. So it could show up in like different ways and different forms, right? So it could be that like you're walking down the street and you're just holding your bag and you're laughing with your boyfriend or whatever the fuck like that. Isn't that autistic as fuck, right? So an autistic person, right? An, ooh, a naturally autistic person, that scared me for some reason. So a naturally autistic person, right? Would be like, what would you call it? Um would like mimic actions, right? They would mimic actions of another person that they like find funny or enjoy or something like that if they feel close to you or something like that, right? So they would just do those things. So I remember the other day someone like did this, was like, oh, like this at the table, and I thought that was so funny. I thought that was so funny. I was just like this. I was like, I laughed, I smiled, and then I was just like, oh. And then like at some point someone said some shit, like I was like, ooh, and like I was like, I'm not doing that. Right? Like, I was gonna fuck with myself, right? Ooh, what did this steak taste great? You know what I mean? So it's like there's like obviously there's a sense of control in this situation. There's obviously not a sense of control, but there's obviously discipline within that scenario, right? So I'm like, it got me thinking, like, wait, there's people like that can't control themselves on what they mimic and like and stuff like that, right? There you go. So then you have the darker side of neurodivergency, whereas like people who can't control what they mimic, right? Maybe they mimic the negative aspects of humanity, and maybe they mimic the more, awful sides of people and stuff like that, right? But then it's consciously attempting to cover it up, right? So that puts them directly away from, oh, they're autistic, neurodivergent, retarded, whatever, and into, oh, they're sociopathic, oh, they're psychopathic. You know what I mean? Then you guys start seeing the differences, right? It's like they can't help but do certain things and certain actions, right? Right? That's their whole thing. They can't help it, right? So that puts them on the spectrum, right? But then there's always things that people can't help and can't help, right? So now it's like what you call it, because neurodivergent, I said neurodivergent, autistic individuals oftentimes they don't mimic people who give me a second, she's in the bathroom because that's her punishment right now. Okay, so she autistic people don't only mimic people because they like the actions they're doing, right? They also mimic people because they like the person. They're like the person or like the person, right? Or that they are connected in some way to that person, or are in love with that person. You know what I mean? There's so many different good reasons, right? You see that? There are good reasons. And then there's the principalities where it's like, oh, it's a mask someone's wearing, the confusion, complication, dark energy, and then it just boils down and not not joyous, right? Not just, but only boils down to a corrupt, dirty mess. And then dark neurodivergent folks end up mimicking that and getting so lost in it that it, and then they then there's a, because you grow up, then you have to understand that you grow up, there's you grow up eventually, and then there's the covering it up, and then the psychopathy, the sociopathy of it all, and then it's just like so sad, isn't it? And that's where people feel so much empathy and sympathy for, you know what I mean, for just within that line. But then what is being incurred when you do that? You forget that those things aren't human. It's not the people, it's the things that are make the principalities, the powers, the spiritual wickedness, the very intrinsic nature that humanity came from, the original energy that humanity came from. That's what they forget. They're in disbelief about that. Those energies. They're in disbelief that intrinsically human beings, angels, all of us come from God. And that the things that God is, and the things that God has given us to see us to for us to see him as, is the goodness, love, joy, hope, and happiness, and all the morally sound and morally understanding. You know what I mean? Merciful, like you know what I mean? Those are all good qualities. It's like those energies are devoid of good quality. You see what I'm saying now? And so yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so there's that kind of like, I should say, it's like a transactional loss, we could say. Transactional. Let's look up that word too, because I was meaning to look it up. Yeah, there it is. A doing, carrying through, agreement, settlement of a dispute, acts of conducting or carrying out business or dealings pertaining to transactions, doing something complete, to complete an exchange. See, doing something to complete an exchange. So he challenges God about Job's righteousness. Does Job fear God for nothing? Basically, he says, Fuchsia, no. So, on the day the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them, the Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" Satan answered to the Lord, "From roaming throughout the earth, going back." Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one." Sorry, I just understood what that meant. That's actually so funny. Sorry, give me a second. Cause you know how you'd be like, I'm sorry, I really have to say this, but like, you know how you'd be like, this is basically what was going on, right? It's like, I'm chilling, right? Someone comes up and is like, like, yeah, like whatever. And then I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, where you at? What are you actually trying to do here? Like, do I know you? And the person's like, just hanging out, just talking to you, just seeing what's going on, just seeing what's up. I'm like, do you not have like you don't have something to do? Do you, here's the application. It's the same thing. Okay. I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know who started. Anyways, I'm just letting you know. So say, what'd you call it? So the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil." And does Job fear God for nothing? Satan replied, have you not put a hedge around him and his households and everything he has? You have blessed the work of his hands, so that he flocks and herds, so that his flocks and herds are spread throughout the land. But now stretch out your hand and strike everything he has, and he will surely curse you to your face. The Lord said to Satan, "Very well then, everything he has in your power." Well, very well then. Very well. Then everything he has is in your power. But on the man himself do not lay a finger. Y'all, like what? This is like someone arguing me, right? This is like someone arguing me, someone come up to me, right? And then is like, "Hey, can I have a cigarette?" And I'm like, "Oh, actually, no, 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 no." It's like someone coming up to me, right? And is like staring, like hanging out, like, you know what I mean? And then they go, "Can I like?" Oh my gosh, my analogy was so clean, and now it's weird. So let me start over. So it's like when if somebody were arguing with me, right? And they're like, "Oh, you own a business, but where's your what'd you call it? Where's your place at? Like where's your this and where's your that and how's your this and how's your that?" Like I've been through that before, right? I feel like I have though. But what'd you call it? It's like where's your this and where's your that? You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, but like it's my vision. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's my vision. It's my vision. You know what I mean? Oh shit. It's like me being like, yeah, I have a YouTube channel. Um, and it's about my vision. Like if you would like to see it. And it's like, oh, you talk about it, but you don't have any of your business practices. Da, 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 da. Anyone could take your vision. Then what if the vision is with me? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, okay, tall Mrs. Prophetess. Tall Mrs. Prophets. All right. No, like, you know what I mean? Okay, Mrs. Owner of Vision. Okay, Mr. Owner of Vision. Like, all right, cool. But you cannot come here and kill me, yeah? That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying. All I'm saying. Right? Right? That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is you can't come do this. You can't, you know. I will not allow you come kill me. All right? I will not let you. And I say, and I also mention, yeah, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Kind of situation. You see what I'm saying? It's like, like, oh my gosh, no, the song really came up. Um, I never signed up for your drama, up for your drama, up for your drama club. I never, yeah, you want to feed your lines. They want to feed you lines that you have to memorize. They always hide behind their Wizard of Oz disguise. Do you even have a brain? you're you're standing on a, you're reading off a page. Yeah, I never signed up. Basically the whole point is that they're clinging to a stage, clinging to their words, clinging to Jesus's words type stuff. That's really what it is. It's clinging to his words. And then like also like, yeah, the what I really heard was you can kiss my ass for real. So basically, on another day, the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came to them and present himself before him. The Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" Satan answered to the Lord, "From roaming throughout the land, going back and forth on it." The Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There's no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil." Can I read this? Can I read this like this real quick? Okay. Have you considered my servant Job? There's no one on earth. There's no one on earth like him. He's blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil. And he still maintains his integrity, though you incited me against him to ruin him without any reason. Oh my God. Though you incite. Oh my God, this is too funny. Hold up. Skin for skin, Satan replied. Oh, that's fucked up. But that's what I was talking about. That right there is what the fuck I was talking about. Excuse my language. I apologize. Okay. It says, a man will give all he has for his own life. But you know what? Fuck you. I don't even want to read it, bro. I don't even want to read it, bro. A man will give all he has for his own life, but now stretch your hand and strike his flesh and bones, and he will surely curse you to your face. Fuck kind of situation is that? That's weird as fuck. Anyways, the Lord said to Satan, very well, then he's in your hands, but you must spare his life. See, that makes a lot of sense. He goes, basically, the Lord said to Satan, very well then, or very well, then, Abishabi, he's in your hands, right? He's in your hands, right? Right? He's in your hands, but really, I don't even want to say nothing. So he's in your hands, but you must spare his life. But you must spare his life. Okay. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord and afflicted Job with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. And you see what I'm like? Everything's itchy. You see what I'm saying? I'm not lying to you. But yeah, it's super okay, it's just so much, okay, it's just so much, it's so much, all right. But basically, how do I explain this? There's a lot of dimensions working in, and back then, like, if you really think about it, if Satan hadn't been around, like, everything would have been so much smoother. You know what I mean? Everything would have been so much smoother. I don't even know if half of it would have happened the way that it did. You know? And it was just so hard to, like, accept the fact that, like, a lot of people, I guess, found it super hard to accept the fact that, like, reality is much more different, and, like, groundedness is so important. Anyways, yeah, like, anyways, so the expectations of the witch wasn't resolved or something like that. I don't know. It really is embarrassing. I don't know. The star, moon reverse. There's a two of cups. I couldn't make this up. Like, it keeps on trying to maneuver the circumstance, the situation to go in its favor, and it's not working, because it's not about the words that they're using, how they're saying it, where they're saying no, because the main thing is that it keeps on trying to maneuver the circumstance. That's all it's so focused, and that's what it is. They were abusing focus. It was like they had, like, it's like there was a time, I feel that there was a time that there would only be so many things that could be said, only so many things that could be, you know what I mean, done. Only, and then, and Jesus is an inventor of a whole new paradigm, and so are the prophets. So what, so is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know what I mean? And so it's like there's so much going on, and then there's people who can't handle it, and they're individuals specifically who can't handle it. They can't handle what God has to offer. And the reason they can't handle it, or the false reason, the excuse as to why they can't handle it, is literally Satan. And it's not a real excuse. The false excuse is Satan. And there's the Two of Pentacles. You saw the Two of Pentacles and then the Three of Wands. You see what I'm saying? So it's like everyone acts like it's not a choice. You know what I mean? They want to all act like it's not a choice, but it oh man, I need to go to sleep, bro. I'm done. Yeah, I'm pretty much done. Like, I don't know how else to explain this. Yeah, but it's not working anymore. Whatever it is that they were doing was not working. So the solution is here now. So Archangel Michael is going to help me get the solution clear. That is if Archangel Michael, feels as if, or if God has commanded that to be so. Okay? Yeah, because there they are trying to act like it's for them. I'm so serious. Yeah. But you see? I'm done. You see what I'm saying? Boom. I knew it. Oh my goodness, I knew it. Be as faithful as a good wife. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me just tell you something, okay? I just want to say something real quick, okay? Coming from like me personally, it it looks so much cooler in anime. What I'm going through right now just looks so much cooler in anime. God could probably make it look so cool IRL, but until then, it just it just looks like, oh my gosh, like honestly, I don't know. The weird, when you use like, when CGI was just like coming out kind of energy. And so it's like animations when they were coming out, you know what I mean? When everything is increasing in dimension, it always looks weird at first. You're like, ugh, like what is that? Like until we get used to it, until we know how to use it. Like for example, Ghost in the Shell came out, and Ilyakov shouldn't have really revolutionized the way that we were using like 3D and 2D technology, right? Like people really didn't understand how to use it, like because it was always coming out so uncanny. That's it. Like what I'm going through right now, oh gosh, it's so uncanny. It's so uncanny, honestly. And like I don't know how to express like it, especially since it's very uncanny. And I think that's what it is. I think uncanniness is what they worship, right? Like to us, it's like, you know what I mean? Hold on one second. So, yeah. Beyond what is known, mysterious, strange, or uncomfortable beyond comprehension. There. Beyond ordinary knowing, not able to know, to be known. Not able to be known beyond ordinary knowing. Okay? So, beyond ordinary knowing. So, even my sister is like, Bro, my gosh. Oh my gosh, bro. Yeah, this is getting deep. If sis doesn't know and I don't know, wait, it's not like I don't know, but I don't know if I know. But oh, hold on. There it is. Ooh. Okay. A different sister knows. Okay. A different sister knows. Oh my goodness. So that's wow. I don't even know what's gonna happen. I don't even know what's gonna happen. Hey, I think stop. It just closed out. It just closed out. It was like, okay, we're done. Like that was it. It was like there was something that was like it's over. Like I don't know what was going on, bro. I don't know. We gonna find out. We gonna find out next time. I feel like I knew it. I just knew. I just knew that I just knew where I was done at. Like that's where I knew I was done at. I was like, I'm done. I don't know. I don't know what it is you're wanting from me at this point, bro. We went to my sister. My sister was like, this is beyond me. Honestly, you know what I mean? and then it went all the way to the other sister. The other sister was like, I got you, sis. Because it's like, yeah, like honestly, yeah. Oh, okay, thank God. Cause I was just really like kind of like, yeah, I was really frustrated, low key. Was I frustrated? No, look, literally, that's her. Oh, that's her. She's cut that shit off. She cut that shit off. She was like, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm tired of you. Oh my God. Wait, because what happened? Okay, because what happened? You know what? Let's just keep going forward until like, I mean, we knew what happened. We knew what happened. Okay, we knew what happened. Maybe that's what it is. What's next after that? No, that's not the question. It's more like how to get resolved. Yeah, how to get resolved. How to stop. Oh, oh, okay. Because we all right. Because I called okay, because I called an Archangel Michael. Yeah, that makes sense. I did call an Archangel Michael. Because I called an Archangel Michael. I did call an Archangel Michael. Because I called in the angels. I called on to God. I prayed my prayer. I did what I was supposed to. Okay, I think that's what I did. I just did what I was supposed to. I think that's all it was. Yeah, okay. Oh, wow. So wait, is there something I'm not knowing? I really can't tell y'all. Anyway, the transactional loss is being investigated is all I can say. Whatever that transactional loss is being investigated, okay? Because I don't know what that's about for real. Yeah, yeah, because it was a plan. I knew it was some sort of, yeah, it was some sort of false mirrored image. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, so we found out what it was. It was a false mirrored image. Okay. Was it a karmic? Okay, that's what they call a karmic twin. That's what they call a karmic twin, right? That's what they call a karmic twin. Yeah, that's why it was closed out. Oh, you see what I'm saying? Okay. That's what I was trying to figure it out for the longest. It was a false karmic twin. So I found the karmic twin. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's, I don't know what's scarier. Knowing the because they're karmic twins. You have to understand. And I know this is and I know it's real, okay? I know it's real. Okay? Cuz everybody thinks that you have to be with your twin flame, right? Everything comes in pairs, right? So then there's the twin, right? And then there's the other twin. We'll call it twin A and twin B. But the people forget that it's basically almost frankly impossible for one twin to be karmic and the other not. They would both have to be karmic. That's how it works. And that's how they've been. And so you have there's a karmic twin, right? With the other karmic twin. And then sometimes they go and they pretend to be twins for other twins that can be sometimes twins of other twins. So there'll be twins. It's really fucked up, right? And we know this is real because how many people I haven't been trying to give it much thought because I just didn't want to think about it for real. But like, if you have a twin and your twin, right, gets married to a sister that's a twin of another twin, right? And you marry that twin sister. It's a little odd, don't you think? Like, both of you twins are married to another set of twins. It's like a little bit like, suspicious to me. I'd like to get a little bit deeper into investigating what's going on there. Like, I just want to know. Okay? Cuz like, I just want to know the truth, all right? Okay, that's all I want to know is the truth. Just let me know. Just let me know, okay? We can solve this. But that's really what it is that's going on in this situation, right? So there's two sets of twins that are karmic. And then there's another set of twins that are not karmic, right? And these are like twin flames, I mean, right? So then there's the mirrored the mirror twin. So it's someone who's not a twin, but they pretend to be a twin. And then there's the mirrored karmic twin, which is someone who tries to pretend to be a twin, but not only do they try to pretend to be a twin, they pretend to be the karmic twin. You see what I'm saying? Now, the mirrored karmic twin is real fucked up because they really want to be a twin, right? Or they really want to be that karmic twin, but they're even more fucked up because then then they literally create a false image, right? A false image of a false karmic twin. You see what I'm saying? So now there's a false image of a false karmic twin. You see what I'm saying? And then they want to mirror that false image of a false karmic twin onto someone else, which is a projection. And if they do it on someone who's sinful, gravely sinful, right? Then it can cause that person to now mirror back like an even worse version of a false mirrored, false image. Oh, God forbid, of a false karmic twin. It's really bad. It gets corrupt. That's what I mean. Not that they can, obviously, if God stops it. You know what I mean? That's if God chooses to. But now we know how bad it gets. You know what I mean? But that it gets pretty bad. But the false karmic twin shit is crazy. You know what I mean? There it is. There's the insecurity, and that's why the strong footing was so important, right? Was so that there wouldn't be neither the false karmic twin, the karmic twin, the image of the false image of the false karmic twin, the any kind of image of the false karmic twin, right? Or any kind of image, any kind of image at all of a karmic twin. So that's why so much shit was coming out. The mirrored projections were coming out, the masks were coming out, the idolatry had come out specifically. One of the first things that came out, right? It's so important not to idolize. That's why I was, now you guys understand now. So there's a lot of that going on. All right. But I got the memo. It was a lot, y'all. That's why you just gotta focus on God. You know, I just focus on God. You know? It's oh my gosh. It's so it's impeccable how God like clears it out, but yeah, no, it's oh my gosh. I feel like oh my gosh. It's finally over, bro. It's finally over. Oh my gosh, bro. It's so bad. So bad. It was so bad. And to think that it's coming out now, like I can finally understand, like it was pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Yeah. Yeah, there they are. Like, yeah, they're being, yeah. Or, oh, I see. So they wanted to acquire the power of autonomous beingness. Should I say, is that autonomous beingness? I really want to explain that. Fuchsia, no. Self-governing, independent. Yeah, law unto oneself. They wanted power over autonomous beingness. But this was like power over autonomous beingness when it comes to like the collective consciousness, when it comes to anyone. So if my motor functions, my autonomous mental thinking, like any which way that God has made me sovereign, they wanted the power that was. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Yep. Any which way that would make anyone, but like I said, they can't use, what was one of the first things that came out? They can't use other people to speak their words anymore. The Ghost Rider persona energy came out also in reverse before. Yeah. Yeah. They planned to come off as a false karmic twin flame. It was a lot. It was a lot that they were doing. But they were planning to, they were planning to convert. That's where the false transferring was the false transferring, the failed transfer had occurred because they wanted to convert something. Transform, yeah. Look, to change one's beliefs or allegiance. There you go. Allegiance. They wanted to convert a star energy. There you go. They wanted to convert a star energy. Yeah, there it is. There's the 5 of, see, it was a failed transaction, or it was a poor transaction. Or what is it called again? There was a transactional loss, or they They were caught in karma for attempting to convert a star, basically. That's what it is. Yep, that's what it is. Yep, that's what it is. Thank you, Archangel Michael. Thank God for Archangel Michael. Thank you, God. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Bismillah. So that's basically it. They attempted to falsify the identity of, what'd you call it? Yeah, they attempted to falsify the identity of a what'd you call it? Of a pioneer. That's the answer. Yeah. They attempted to falsify the identity of a pioneer, of an inventor, right? Which could have been me or you in the collective, right? And they were caught paying karma for that. And they were caught in the karma of that because that there was a transactional loss in that. So they had possibly used funds or material goods or whatever it is that they used materially, right? Yeah. In order to do that, that's like Judas getting caught, like getting paid from the church to do something to Jesus. You see what I'm saying now? It's like then they started getting karma. And then there was a transactional loss amidst it. Like you could see it. But it's more than coins. It was more than money. It's also like someone giving someone something to do something with, to someone with. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. Now they're caught. Yeah. There's the converting energy. Power of converting. Yeah. They wanted to act like they had dominion over it. Or sorry, dominance over it. Yep, they thought they had dominance over it. Now there's unfreedom. There's that energy. Yeah. It's like someone will only see that there's a worm in their stomach once they throw it up, but they don't want to believe it when it's there. Kind of energy. I don't know. Maybe that was not the best analogy. Maybe we'll say a snake. I don't know how to explain it, bro. Yeah, they wanted to like convert something that they put a lot of pride in. They wanted to convert. They wanted to make it seem like they had glory, man. They really wanted to make it seem like they had any kind of glory. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's glory we're talking about. So they wanted to abuse the glory of others. They wanted to abuse the glory of others to incur corruption and sin so that they could falsify their own identity as if it were glorious. Yeah. And that's it. Yep, that's it. 2 cups, 7 of pentacles. Yeah, that's it. With the 2, yeah, pentacles, that's what it is. Oh, it's going into balance now. All right, you guys. Yep, that's it. It's over. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.